Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Wake Up and Walk On. This discussion, Nefer and I have been talking about for a while. We knew we had to have it at some point about Lindsay, Clancy, and the terrible things that have happened within the whole situation. You've got your medical field completely failing somebody, which is happening a lot now. You've got other people not believing the situation and allowing this monstrosity to go on.
You have a guy that's been neglectful and misread situations, left her alone with his children.
Yeah.
And you got everybody on the women's side saying, yeah, well, we all could be her. And you got everybody on the men's side saying, well, that's just demonic, lynching.
Exactly.
So it's really got people divided.
And we want to hear all views. If you come in this chat and you see this and you have a different opinion on it, please let us know. I have a mediocre that we're going to watch, and this is about the women defending Lindsay.
I will say that when it comes to the mental health thing, women are very much swept underneath the rug with that kind of
They
stuff.
are, yes.
And it's like speaking of somebody who's dealt with minor bouts of psychosis, it does alter your general everyday way of thinking. You just don't think like a normal person.
It's exactly right, yes. And the chemicals that go with having kids too.
Right. The hormonal changes are real for sure. I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that there was Ambien prescribed.
Oh my god, yeah. That is such a bad.
Also had experience.
I mean, it's a bad drug by itself.
Right. And then we
to add it into a lot of different factors.
Zoloft, Seroquel, all of these other things. Amitriptyline, I've had experience with all three of those. They're all terrible. Will make it very worse.
I mean, a guy on Ambien, and look what happened, Tiger Woods.
Right. That's just one of the high-profile things.
Yeah.
But the question just remains is, does somebody like that deserve to get clemency and walk free and rejoin society, or not? That's the main thing. And
I just don't see it myself. I personally do not believe that she should ever be allowed in society again.
No. I don't believe that she should. I don't know. I don't think that jail would be particularly useful, but she should go to an asylum and stay there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's basically the same thing.
I mean, at that point, even if it was a psychosis state that they could get her out of, how can somebody be even close to right in the head after coming out and realizing what you did?
That's what gets me. And it's like, if I had done something like that, even in an altered state of mind, coming out of it, I don't think there's a snowball's chance of how you could keep me alive.
I know.
There's just no way.
No, done.
And if I couldn't be put to death, then it's like I would at least want to be locked up for the rest of my life. There's just no way I could deal with it otherwise. There's just no way.
Yeah.
So the fact that they were trying to fight it at all is kind of crazy.
I know. And it's like, I mean, some people were talking about it was the father that did it, and he just staged it all and faked it.
Right.
And I can see that.
Yeah.
I can't. I mean, that could possibly happen. We'll know more in the future, I'm sure.
But
it's still early on.
With the Law of Crime Network thing that I saw when they said that they played that tape for people in the courtroom, they said there was just no faking that. They said it's the most guttural, primal sound of pain and torture that you could. And it's like somebody who, I mean.
Yeah, that would be him making the 911 call, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, so we're not allowed to hear that, but people have heard it. And
yeah. Exactly.
That was from a really non-biased, objective standpoint, so.
Yeah.
I'm just not seeing it.
No, I'm not either.
But he did lack the foresight to,
Yeah.
Why would he leave her with them?
I know, that's my biggest question. Why, when you know that your significant other has mental illness, you know it's there, why would you dare leave her?
Right. Well, she seemed happy that day. She sent me pictures of the kids
Doesn't matter.
And they did snowmen.
So have so many other people that committed suicide.
Yeah.
You know how happy they were the day that they did it?
The conviction of it, and she did try to kill herself as well. So,
yeah. Crazy. So yeah, we got mediocre. We're gonna get right into it. And yes, I see you, Guru. Hey, Chad. I am here. Is supposed. All right.
I will continue to pray for you so that you can find peace.
It's been a while, but I have to pop on here just to say that I've been following this Lindsay Clancy trial, especially as a mother of two who dealt with a lot of postpartum mental illness. And
this is horrific.
Just following all their birth charts and birthdays and zodiac signs. He did it. He did it.
Forensic astrology?
You don't know. I just want to do it. But first of all, so if you're watching the Lindsay Clancy case, I've already gone over.
How do you take these people
forensic astrology charts that show that the perpetrator is a male.
I cannot wait for this man to be humbled and for karma to do its thing.
Patrick did it.
Case solved.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
The fact her trial is during Lionsgate. What? This story is absolutely incredible. Guys, I have a collection of clips to add on to the story, which is going to add more fuel to my take. But the TLDR, too long, didn't read. A young woman back in 2023 offed her 3 children one by one and then tried to off herself by jumping from a second-story window. She was not successful in her own demise, but she paralyzed herself permanently. Now, this story already is crazy enough as it is, but what if I told you that it gets worse and worse because the TikTok feminists have gathered together to raise $1 million and more. It's growing each and every day after this woman allegedly has admitted to everything. If we were to reverse the roles, the young man in this that would have offed his entire family not only would have never had a GoFundMe offered for him, but also would be currently in a graveyard underneath a damn jail. Now, as we go over this case, understand that this is not a situation of did she do it? It is a situation of should she get life in jail or life in a psych ward? But through the craziness of the TikTok feminist defending this, finding any way that the husband is guilty in this situation has contributed to the $1 million of a GoFundMe. So we got to get into it. We got to unpack this. I often say on this channel that the world owes you nothing. It owes you no favors, but that's for men. For women, there's an inbred sympathy that you receive irrespective of what it is that you do. And it's a double standard. It is what it is, but pretending like or acting like this doesn't exist is straight up lying. In this case, absolutely proves it. Now to the source. So here goes the murderer, the child murderer of her own kids. Okay. Now, what I want you guys to also look at is that's the GoFundMe right here. That's the GoFundMe, but please read all of these comments. Feel free to pause just so you guys can internalize these damn comments, okay? Lindsay, we are with you and your family. You don't deserve any of this. We see your soul and who you are. I will continue to pray for you so that you can find peace you've been looking for and leave this nightmare behind. We want you free. Free is absolutely, free is insane, baby. You're free. You want her free. If anything, if they can prove psychosis, okay, then mental institution for the rest of her damn life. Leave her in there, lock the key in a padded goddamn room. But if they prove that it wasn't psychosis and it was like postpartum depression, lock her in a jail cell, okay? But wanting freedom for this crazed person, for this lunatic is absolutely insane, but demonstrates the sister code support for bullshit behavior, irrespective of psychosis, but also a fundamental hate for men. And I'm going to prove to you via TikTok how much these women hate men. And much of it goes into her actual GoFundMe support. And I think, and this is going to be another hot take for you, that so many of them can look beyond the actual murder of her children, because many of these women have murdered lives inside of their body. But the sympathy that she is receiving is insane. Let's look at some more of these comments. Call it a woman's intuition. Is that what that one just said? I cannot believe this. Yo, if dudes supported dudes the way that women supported women, baby, imagine what we would be able to do. Setting Love from Utah, call it a women's intuition. I never believed for 1 second that Lindsay was a cold-blooded monster. She was failed. Real women see a part of us in her. A murderer. Now, before we go over to TikTok to diagnose these crazed people, let's go over a news report real quick. Last month, my Facebook page alone generated over $13,000. That number is so ridiculous. Why? Because I did absolutely no work in order to achieve that. But I put systems in play to earn that revenue. Now, there's a very important definition here. It's called resting revenue rate. How much money do you earn in a month at rest, not doing a damn thing? Because at least on my Facebook page alone, it's $13,000. Now, what's also crazy about that is I'm not a Facebooker. I'm a YouTuber. Majority of my money comes from YouTube and as well as ad sponsorships. The Facebook stuff is just the icing on the cake. But just the icing on the cake alone, I'm financially independent because it damn sure don't cost me $13,000 a month to live. Come copy my system of how I earn between $50,000 and $100,000 each and every month. Go to viral2value.com to pick up my curriculum and join my community, where we also do live calls, Q&As, to answer all of your guys' questions on your content creation journey.
Today, Lindsay Clancy's defense attorney continuing to argue the Massachusetts mother was suffering from postpartum psychosis when she killed her 3 children in 2023. Her former mother-in-law testifying Clancy was a devoted mom who was struggling with her postpartum health. Clancy has admitted to strangling her children, but has pleaded not guilty to 3 counts of first-degree murder by reason of insanity, arguing a combination of psychiatric drugs prescribed after the birth of her 3rd child made her postpartum psychosis worse. In court, attorneys reading messages she sent to her mother-in-law, but prosecutors say Clancy planned it all, intending to kill her children and herself. The defense calling on a forensic psychiatrist who did not treat Clancy, but reviewed her medical records and testified her doctors may have missed warning signs.
If found guilty of first-degree murder, Clancy faces a mandatory sentence of life in prison without parole.
Okay. Now, if the court system determines that she's clinically insane, lock her away in a padded room and throw away the goddamn key. We can all agree on that. But calls to free her and $1 million GoFundMe demonstrate how crazy this man-hating society is. And there's so much sympathy being given to her. But what about the husband in this situation? This man in one night lost his entire family and has most of the internet creating conspiracy theories how he is involved and calls to have him tried. Whoever created the AI photo here, but like, bravo. yo, bravo. You are marketer of the damn planet. Because her in a wheelchair in the middle sobbing with all of these AI women standing in solidarity. And then you go over here, you look at the donations, 3,000 recent donations, all women, to the tune of almost $1 million, and it is climbing each and every minute. And y'all could take a look, pause the video, and read through what it's for, but it's essentially for her entire family. But now let's listen to a forensic scientist describe why she's probably guilty.
Just because stupid people on the internet don't understand something, that doesn't mean that there's a conspiracy theory afoot. I'm a forensic scientist and a former CSI, and if there is one thing that I have learned since posting on TikTok, it's that people on the internet believe everything is a fucking conspiracy. The number of people online who are fully convinced that Lindsay Clancy is innocent and that actually her husband murdered her children is making my mind want to explode. She has admitted that she is the one responsible for killing her children. Okay, she did it. Saying that she didn't is just as stupid as coming on the internet and saying that Brian Koberger is innocent. He is not. He murdered 4 people. He said out his own mouth that he did in fact murder those people. There are conspiracy theories in every single case that I talk about. Seems like a good time to remind you that everything seems like a conspiracy theory when you don't know what you're talking about. So just because you don't understand the evidence in this case and you don't understand how a mother could murder her 3 children doesn't mean it didn't happen. Just because you can't understand how somebody could stab 4 people so quickly or how he could not have blood in his car doesn't mean he's innocent. It just means you don't know shit about forensic science. It is so gross to come on the internet and pretend that this is a TV show. Fictional shows, fictional books, fictional movies about crime, those have lots of twists and turns and unexpected killers because real life crime is boring. And it's not exciting to make a show about a crime where you know who did it within the first 5 minutes. Yeah. And once again, if you think that this case is going to be cracked wide open because of a different color temperature of somebody's shoes on 2 different shitty surveillance videos, you're unwell. You are delusional. And you can tell me I'm arrogant or biased or condescending all you want to, but you guys are nuts. It is so insulting to entertain these conspiracy theories. It is deeply, deeply damaging, not only to Patrick Clancy and the people who know and love him who have to hear you spout your bullshit on the internet. It is deeply, deeply insulting to other mothers who are struggling with postpartum psychosis when you come online and invalidate the terrible things that this woman went through. It is deeply, deeply insulting to the surviving family members of Brian Koberger's victims when you come on the internet and say, I'm just asking questions. Spreading misinformation, giving it 1 second of your time and not calling out for what it is, or putting even a tiny, tiny bit of gas on a conspiracy theory flame is so damaging for the actual family members, the actual survivors, the actual loved ones in these cases and dozens of other cases. Real people who will never be able to get closure because their loved ones ended their life via suicide. And there are Reddit threads dedicated to proving that their loved one was actually murdered. Real people.
You know what's crazy is that it's majority women. This case has a lot of women's attention because of the alignment with having young children and postpartum depression. But any of these cases that involve men versus women, where man assaulted or there was like domestic violence, in order to try to explain what they do not understand, oftentimes crafting movie storylines in order to make it make sense to them, which often is just more entertaining for them. Some of their minds are a crazy place. Shit, I've had women in my life that will dream about something and wake up and be mad at me because of what happened within the dream, as if my dream actions are to blame for something in reality. But let's finish up.
People who are dealing with terrible.
Yes, that dream thing actually does happen quite frequently for a lot of different people.
It happens to me, and it still settles like really weird.
Yeah.
It settles really weird with me, you know, but it's like, I have like logic behind it, you know. It's
I know.
Like that, but, it's like, but I mean, like, for me, dreams are intuitive, so sometimes there is something behind it, but you know, you can tell the difference. You can tell when it's just insecurities versus a gut feeling, you know what I mean?
And they're laying way back on the insecurities. They're just like, well, no, I want to be mad at the person.
That's the problem. It's like, yeah, we have women's intuition, we have gut feelings, so shit's real. But the problem is like the hormonal changes that we go through each month really radically affect the way that that is translated, the filter that it's seen through. So you have to kind of like take that into consideration and be like, okay, so that's what's going on, you know? It's just it's just my insecurities that isn't. And if it's like a nagging thing that lasts a couple of months, that's a different story.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I get it. But it's like,
yeah, you gotta not just fall right into the narrative.
Oh, shit. I look like
grief. And then you have to come and see these delusional people on the internet talking about the color of their shoes. It's so goddamn gross. It is so fucking gross. It's embarrassing. And as somebody actually involved in criminal investigations, it makes me sick.
I didn't know they were allowing cusses on TikTok like that nowadays. But with all of the anti-male rhetoric all across TikTok, that doesn't get taken down, by the way. My TikTok's currently demonetized. It's actually refreshing to see a smart young woman be analytical about the situation and not afraid to call it how she sees it. Because the horrendous first instinct of many of these young women is to defend by any means necessary. But it's not only defend, but it's blame the nearest man possible in this situation. A confession should be enough for the majority of people on the internet. But even that nowadays, oh, he made her do it. Oh, what a piece of shit, man. Give me the bear. Matter of fact, y'all remember that Chris Watts story from back in 2018? This guy offed his entire family, 2 young girls, and his wife so he can be with some mistress. This dude was crazy as all hell. And what also made this story interesting is that they had the police capture him on body camera, like in the moment.
He was just talking about the narrative about how, the women are always, oh my God, it was him. He was saying the confession should be enough, but a lot of people, oh, well, this, that, it's like he did it. And it's like, that is everywhere. I mean, you got the Charlie Kirk case. They're saying the same thing. Oh, it wasn't that guy.
Right.
Even though he admitted to it.
Well, but you can be coerced. You can be.
You can, yes.
Things can, especially since, admittedly, when she made her confession, she was already in the hospital.
Yeah.
And she didn't have any memory of what she had done.
Yeah.
So it could have been very easy to implant that into her head.
Of course. There's always.
But like they always say, there's that rule that it's like the most reasonable and likely explanation usually is that.
Because they'll try to complicate it and do
like,
this stuff so that people think, oh my God.
Yeah, so the simplest explanation is usually the truest. And, it can happen.
The medications that she was on is enough
the
to do it.
Ambien alone.
Yeah.
Like, goddamn.
But they mixed medications on her.
Right.
I mean, she just had a baby not that long
like
ago.
8 months before.
Yeah.
And then she had
So,
a 3-year-old, so like the body had it, and then a 5-year-old.
Yes.
So she had like 2 years in between each one. That's really hard.
It is. That's crazy.
But and it's like, I don't know. A lot of women say the same thing. They say that they have temporarily, briefly had thoughts like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, I can't really say that I've had thoughts like that, but I've had like that little voice that'd be like, well, what if you just did this? What if you just did that? What if you just let him drown at the bottom of the pool? That kind of like
we talked about this not that long ago.
Right, and it's like, but you have the wherewithal, especially if you have spiritual grounding, to be like, get thee behind me, and you push that shit away.
Yes.
Like, that is not me.
Yeah.
That's an outside influence. That's
that's demons.
Right,
That's
exactly.
the devil. That's
Exactly. That's mental illness in a nutshell.
Yes.
And, like my grandmother, she dealt with psychosis. Like,
I know.
Something would happen and she'd blow it out of proportion and then tell the story for the rest of her life. Like, that's what happened.
And it was so big, so over the top.
Like, you would start with somebody like cutting him off in the parking lot, and then it turned into a shootout and they tried to kill him and shit. It's like, and that's how it stayed for the rest of it. It's like, I was fucking there. What are you talking about? It's not what happened.
Yeah, exactly.
But
some people are so bored with their lives, that's what they have to do.
But it's a psychosis. Like I said, that's what I mean about living like in an altered state of mind. It's like, that is their reality.
Well, exactly. That's what I'm saying. They're so bored with their life that it ends up making.
Or it's just.
Yeah,
just,
or
like,
just.
I don't even think it's boredom really. I think it's just like a deficiency.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, her family hates squirrels.
I know.
And squirrels. Many diseases. So it's like,
exactly.
So I kind of chalked it up to that shit.
Yeah.
But like, I think a lot of women, if they're being honest, and I know that like Matt Walsh and shit would disagree, but if they're being honest, they will say that they have at least had some sort of nagging voice in the back of their head, because especially if you believe in the spirit realm, and especially as a Christ believer, as they are,
yes,
you should know that the devil always has that contention against motherhood. That's the target. So that's how I just kind of chalk it up. It's like, like you said, demonic devil telling you to separate that most sacred bond because that's really powerful.
Yes.
So, and I think if they were honest, they would say that they had those thoughts.
Yeah, there's a lot that people should really, truly be honest about that they're not.
And it's like, you know, both things can be true. You can experience that and also not support
Yep.
what happened. I mean, she has to. The bill comes due for everybody. You
Yeah.
know, like she has
And
to pay for that shit.
As you said, there's a lot of people that experience a lot of stuff that they're just like, at one point in their mind, they're like, oh my god, I wish I could just do this. I wish I could just go
It
and
could
go
be self
here.
harm. It could be like
I wish I could just go kill this person.
right.
But most people, no, can't do that.
Right.
Next thing.
Right. Yeah. It's like, but with the psychosis, there's a deficiency in the brain that just doesn't like the impulse control
Doesn't allow it.
is not there.
Yes.
So, and like especially with medications, I'm foursquare against all kinds of medications like that without a reason.
Yeah.
But she still has to pay the price.
Yeah.
She still let herself be led through these situations by doctors. She didn't listen to her own self. She listened to the doctors. She listened to other people, and didn't take control of her health and mind.
Yeah.
And this is what happened.
I mean, they put her on like a cocktail of medications.
And I have heard that she wasn't taking them as she was supposed to either. So whether that means she was taking too much of it or not taking enough.
Exactly, you don't know.
And I kind of don't blame her because it's like I was on amitriptyline when I was pregnant with Tristan for the same time
Yep.
around. And man, it made me feel like the golden hour, like it changed my literal perspective of like,
I understand, yeah.
like how I saw shit. It felt like the golden hour, but I felt like I had a like I was coming out of a sickness or something
Yeah.
all the time. It was just like weird. Like weird dream state, just not connected at all. So I stopped taking that shit pretty quick.
Oh, I bet. Yeah,
They also prescribed me Ambien when I was pregnant. You know,
I know.
did that one thing that one time.
Oh my god, dude.
That was it.
That-
You know,
Yeah, that scared me.
I mean, I drove like 36 miles.
Yeah.
You know, like shit. I mean, and I was doing stuff that I didn't remember.
Mm-hmm.
The laundry, the
And we've
cooking.
known several people that have taken it and had.
My mother was
Yeah.
one of them, you know, and I saw that shit firsthand for years.
I know.
Yeah, it's just not good. So
No, they try to get people away from weed. They try to get people away from these natural sources. And then they prescribe this crap to people, all because the pharmaceutical companies want their money.
right,
So they're in the pockets of the doctors. The doctors prescribe the
And-
medication of the week.
and firsthand experience, yeah, they do. They if you're not there for the right reasons, they sweep your ass under the rug.
Yeah,
Like I had
they
a
do.
full goddamn anxiety attack in their damn
Yeah,
office.
in the office, and they're like, "Well, you got to make another appointment."
They're like, well, we can only see you for one thing, and you came in because your ankle
Are you
is having problems.
Freaking kidding me? They're like, "Well, the hospital's just down the road."
It isn't though. It's far away.
Yeah,
Oh my god, I was right there.
yeah.
Excited to crumble to the fucking floor. The
And
fucking day.
The hospital that they were talking about takes forever to get into.
Yes. It's like, and they don't take mental health seriously. you
No.
know? Holy shit. So I just had you come in and we work through it and shit.
Yeah.
It was like I just had this crippling fucking anxiety attack and they just walked away.
Yep,
They just like literally left me in the room, you know?
I know.
So yeah, I you know, first-hand experience on a lot of that crap. The memory
Yeah.
issues with Ambien, Zoloft, and Seroquel alone,
Oh my god, that was bad.
I can
Yes.
see why she doesn't remember anything.
Yeah,
You know, let alone the fall that she took. You know.
I know. And the second story.
But I
And-
don't think he did it.
No, I don't
I
either.
think his biggest crime was just being dumb and not
And leaving her with them.
right. No
I
matter
mean,
how
that's
good he
the
thought things.
biggest.
Not educating himself on this.
Yeah.
mental-
Exactly.
you know. But I don't think he did it, and
No,
she did, and she still has to pay for that.
she does. She really does. Yes.
The gods decided she wasn't allowed to kill herself. She was here for a reason, so now she's got to fucking pay for it.
Yeah. Now she's got to own up.
So I do believe she should be in an insane asylum.
Yes, she should be locked away for life. No chance of getting away. She's done. Like I said, even if she could come back, there's no coming back from it.
No,
Flat out.
there's just, I mean, yeah, there's just no.
Yeah.
You have to pay for it.
Yep, you have to pay the piper. for your
It
actions.
is what it is. And if she was hearing voices before, she has no idea because she could be hearing a lot more now.
Yep. The gods are not going to be happy.
She's gonna hear her fucking children.
I know. It's sad.
Moment reacting to them figuring out that he was the damn culprit, but nobody was like, let's support the murderer. post wife psychosis. It's a real thing. It's in the DSM-5, and he's getting the damn sentence that his crazy ass deserves. What's also interesting is it looks like he's got a wife now. Did some 39-year-old realtor named Lindsay Henderson from Cleveland is reportedly trying to get married to him, and that's a picture of her. Y'all sure know how to pick them, huh? But now let's go to the feminist TikTok crazies to find out why apparently she's not guilty.
Her lawyer knows she did it. She knows she did it. She confessed to doing it. And you're a moron if you think that anything else could be possible, is an absolutely crazy statement. I'm a nurse practitioner who's been a nurse for 16 years, and I've worked as a neuro-ICU nurse for part of that time, and as an ER nurse for part of that time as well. I have a lot of experience taking care of patients with psychiatric conditions at this point, and until anybody can provide me with a valid and reliable science-based explanation as to how they ruled out Patrick Clancy in 24 hours, and also how they ruled out confabulation wasn't the reason behind her confession that nobody has a recording of, I'm gonna sit here and say with full confidence that it is not logical to think that she is the only person that could have been responsible for these acts. No one has been able to logically explain either of those things. And from a medical standpoint, especially as somebody who worked as an ICU nurse, it is wild to me that we are not being provided with an explanation as to why confabulation is being ruled out when we know that Lindsay had ICU delirium at one point. And we know she had a psychiatric history and just endured a super duper traumatic event. Like, what the heck, guys?
Oh,
right?
I was gonna say, what does her husband say about this? But I guess we got that answer.
That's the truth.
Confabulation, by the way, is when your brain fills in a gap in your memory with a made-up story, a story that the person will believe is completely true. So essentially, they're saying that she may have convinced herself that she did it when she really did it because she lost her memory. But morons like this seem to forget that the young lady hurled herself off of a second-story window, right, which also could have contributed to the memory loss, and that it was proven that no one else was in the home at the time. But yay woman, let's muddy the waters to confuse the general public with conspiracy theories as much as possible. But wait, there's more.
Okay, check this out. It's really crazy.
Okay.
Lindsay Clancy's birth chart. It's so crazy. Oh, I don't.
What? Leos don't kill, Geminis do? Oh, he's a Gemini. Jail for him. That's all I need to know. Well, God damn it, Shannon. You cracked the case. He's a Gemini. He's a guilty man. Choose the bear. Moon at 22 degrees, kill or be killed degree. Olivia, God damn it, woman. Aquafinks. Oh, you already know it's going to be interesting with a name like that. The fact her trial is during Lionsgate. What? It means things are turning in her favor. Oh, she's a Leo. Oh, she's so loved those babies and very protective. For all you dudes out there that talk to these women about a circle, moon, star, square sign, Aquarius, moonleaf rising shit, talk to these women out as if that shit is serious. You're feeding their goddamn delusion. This is absurd.
I don't have the time of birth. So really, you can disregard the ascendant, descendant, IC, MC, vertex, and all the houses. I need the birth time. So like not all of these aspects are necessarily
forensic astrology.
We don't really know. I just put it at noon. But first of all, I need to show. Okay, so notice anything here? She's got her North Node Aquarius, South Node Leo. She's in her Noble return right now.
It's been a while, but I have to pop on here just to say that I've been following this Lindsay Clancy trial, especially as a mother of two who dealt with a lot of postpartum mental illness. And
this is horrific.
Just following all their birth charts and birthdays and zodiac signs. He did it. He did it. He did it. He's a Gemini man. His birthday is June 15th. I'm a Gemini woman. My birthday is June 14th. Let me give you another example of who a Gemini man is. Also birthday June 14th.
Who impregnated this woman?
Men and women are different. Keep that in mind.
By the way, this is why the Electoral College exists. Because her vote matters just as much as mine without the Electoral College.
Please don't judge me. Donald Trump. Patrick did it.
Case solved.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
So if you're watching the Lindsay Clancy case, I've already gone over
How do you take these
the
people
forensic
seriously?
astrology charts that show that the perpetrator is a male, the perpetrator is having an affair, and that the victims, specifically Lindsay, was drugged during this.
Alright, sorry ladies and gentlemen, I had to stop it right here. This is too funny and it's just too ridiculous. For one, him being a Gemini has nothing to do with the fact if he did it or not. I'm a Gemini, my wife's a Gemini, and our firstborn is a Gemini. All Geminis.
All we do is talk. We talk.
Yeah. I was born June 11th, so, I mean, I must be a killer then too, I guess.
Most serial killers, this is a statistic fact, have been Scorpios.
See?
So, I don't understand that. The Lionsgate thing is full of shit. I mean, yeah, if she is in fact innocent, then yeah, it'll go in her favor.
Yeah.
Otherwise, she's going to be flamed and roasted the justice because that's what the whole thing is about.
Exactly.
You know, it's a Leo thing. It's a Lion
Yep.
thing. And the fucking, psychic mediums bother the shit out of me. I believe in the spirit realm. I work with spirits. I get it. I hear it. But it's like, for some reason, there's just something about the psychic
Well, because
medium
most of
thing.
them are fake.
Like, I don't know. Even if they're partially fake or not, they explain the shit out of me. Like,
yep.
There was those ones that said that they channeled Charlie Kirk and all that.
I know.
And this is what he said. Oh, I'm not going to be reincarnated anytime soon because I have a lot to learn. Wasn't that the point of reincarnation?
Yeah, it
And
is.
it's like, you don't learn on that platform. You learn on this one.
Yep.
And they're just like, I don't know. They just bug the hell out of me. It's like.
All right, so this is what it said that he has on there. It's, as a psychic medium, the second I saw him, his child came in and said, he did it. Get over yourself.
Yeah.
Then somebody commented, this is so incredibly sad. Somebody else said, why can't men just file for divorce, cry face? Another person, she mouthed, because I was getting killed during the trial, by the way. Now, I've seen none of that at the trial. I
have not seen any of the trial. I've seen
so I don't know what she's mouthed, if she's mouthed anything at all.
No, and that's the problem with psychic mediums too, is they really reach for a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Even if somebody did come in and start speaking to them, how do you know it was the actual child?
There's a lot of demons that will act like people.
Yeah, most generally children pass over pretty quickly.
Yeah,
Sometimes
they do.
Stay behind, but most generally they'll pass on pretty damn quickly.
Yeah.
And if you're communicating with somebody that says it's a child, it's probably not.
Yeah, probably not.
Like,
no.
I don't know. They put this shit on me, and it's like I don't know why. I think that's also because they charge for their gifts, and they're just so arrogant. This is the way. This is what they said. I am getting. It's like, no, you don't know that.
I know.
It's like, as with everything in nature, you must take it with a grain of salt and be like, there's a possibility that they said this. There's a possibility that they came through. But you can't ever
exactly.
say 100% surety.
No.
And I think that's why they bother me. They're so fucking arrogant.
I know. they really truly are. All right, we'll see if there's any more.
That show that the perpetrator is a male, the perpetrator is having an affair, and that the victims, specifically Lindsay, was drugged during this. And I've also gone over with the theory and the lie detection.
I'm telling you all right now, when the South Node goes into Cancer in March of 2028, the South Node is going to transit over Patrick Clancy's moon in Cancer. He's going to be having eclipses over his natal moon, which is home, family, emotions.
Dog, she's the one that's being diagnosed as psychosis, but we live and breathe next to women that are active daters in our society that are going through mass psychosis.
emotional life. And then it gets better. 2029, all the way into 2030, he is going to have eclipses over his Gemini placements. The South Node is going to move over his Sun, his Mercury retrograde, his Venus retrograde. It's about to get real interesting in the next, 3 to 4 years for him. I'm grabbing my popcorn. I can't wait for this man to be humbled and for karma to do its thing.
All right. Yeah. Now imagine losing your family. And this is the sentiment online. Holy moly. These nut jobs will step through whatever illogical loopholes that they can find to blame men. Meanwhile, I don't know if you guys know this, the #1 killer of children under the age of 1 are women. And I'm talking after birth, okay? Because we already know after conception, before birth, of course they are, right? Just by biology. But, let's not talk about that. Let's sweep that under the rug because, sugar, spice, and everything nice.
All right, he did it. Patrick did it. Patrick's the one who did it.
This is an actress.
Not Lindsay. Patrick did it because, I also heard that women typically don't strangle. So awful to even say, but that isn't what a woman would do. They don't strangle. I was actually in therapy today and my therapist and I were talking about it and I said, well, what do they do? She said, well, they poison or drown them.
This is
we literally had that conversation today. And she looks at me and she goes, he did it. I was like, wow, yeah. And now,
therapist said that.
Yeah.
Ma'am, the collagen from your lips has broken free and infiltrated your brain and is now clouding your damn judgment. She murdered 3 little blessings. And the therapist says he did it. Oh, talk about the most useless therapist on planet Earth.
So I keep seeing people talk about the Lindsay Clancy case, and a bunch of conservatives are asking themselves, how did we get here as a society where a huge number of women are defending Lindsay Clancy, who murdered 3 of her children by strangling them to death? What is wrong with the women right now? And I'll tell you how we got here. It's because over 25% of women in America today have done exactly what Lindsay has done.
Oh.
They did the exact same thing. They murdered their children, right? They murdered their helpless, innocent children, all because they didn't want them. They were in the way. And so of course they empathize with her. Of course they're trying to cover up their own guilt for what they did by justifying what another woman did when she snuffed out her own children. It's the natural way that you try to cope with sin, right? If you have a problem with drinking, you surround yourself with other people who drink a lot. If you have a problem with cursing, you surround yourself with people who curse a lot. If you have a problem with murder, if you murdered your child and haven't repented for it, then you justify other people who murdered their children, and you all can sit around and ignore the feeling of being a monster because, well, we all did it, right? So it's not that bad. That's what's at play right now. That is what's happening, is we have a bunch of women who actually have murdered their own children. And so when they see another woman who murdered their own children, they empathize with her, they sympathize with her, and they justify it because, well, she had a reason, right? That's what's happening right now. And our nation desperately needs to repent of our child sacrifice, whether it's children in the womb or children outside of the womb. It's a problem, and it is definitely impacting society in serious ways that we've been ignoring for a long time, and now it's just become so in our face that we can't ignore it anymore, and people are asking how we got here. Child sacrifice, that's how we got here.
Whoa, I think based take. No matter what, whether it be your political affiliation or if you're on the side of pro-life versus pro-choice, I think we can all agree that the pro-life side of this paints women as more victims than they are perpetrators. I think with 30 forms of birth control in a free world, you can take whatever precaution is necessary to not get pregnant. But acting as if these things just happen, and for that of a quarter of the population, there's a lot more perpetrators that inevitably have to make that decision than they even want to talk about.
Yep, she killed my kids. She's crazy. That's so sad. And then she jumped out the window and is a paraplegic now. It's weird that you got into a relationship 4 months later, though. What's weird about that? I don't know if my entire family was annihilated and my significant other was a paraplegic after jumping out of the window after doing that. I don't know if I would be dating.
I'm going to say this very slowly, so maybe even you can understand. Men don't owe women anything, especially women who murder their children. I love the intentional change of the language there, right? If my children were annihilated and my partner was paralyzed, I'm sorry, you mean if your children were murdered by the partner who then paralyzed herself after? Is that what you're trying to say? I'm watching more of this trial. I'm realizing how much misinformation is out there. I mean, there's even a video going viral right now of women being like, see, when the officers came in, Patrick Clancy was just sitting on the couch. I mean, what kind of innocent man would just sit on a couch? But then I actually watched the testimony, and that's not what the officer said. The officer said that he was screaming and crying that he couldn't save his children. He wasn't sitting down at all. They took a clip from a different part of the trial. They're doing this very intentionally because Patrick Clancy never called Lindsay crazy. In fact, Patrick Clancy seems to actually be on Lindsay's side, defending her in many instances, calling her a great mother. It's just unfortunate for him that he's finding out on the stand in real time while defending her that she's been lying to him about a bunch of stuff, seemingly embarrassing him even more. Ooh. Also, I can't say for certainty, but I'm pretty sure that Patrick moved on about a year later, in which even if it was 4 months later, I have to ask, who fucking cares? If a man murdered a mother's children, would you guys stand aside while women criticize her for moving on? Sorry, but if somebody murdered my children, I'm not wasting another thought on you. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, these are the same women that are getting angry when people try to remember and give sympathy to the children.
Now, great take, Via Roma. Now, what's interesting is that women will hear takes like this and take it to another level. Watch this new sick trend that I'm seeing popping up on TikTok.
I'm completely overwhelmed trying to take care of the kids. I'm drowning every day. I feel guilty that I'm spending my family's money and not making any. I feel like I spend way too much. She wrote that, right? Correct. I'm terrified of Callan getting sick.
Now you're hearing a testimony from the trial in the background, and this is a random cuckoo woman that is trying to normalize what is being said within the trial to her own experiences. So many of these women are admitting that they want to their children.
He's a sick baby. A sick baby is miserable. He's sick now with a double ear infection, clearly has a bellyache. It's miserable. I feel like the other kids are going to get him sick all winter long. She wrote that, right? Correct. I always feel strongly against sleep training. I feel like it's abusive to let the baby cry and not respond. But I made the decision. I did it with Cal. It is way too much crying. It's incredibly stressful. She wrote that, right? Correct. He's okay. He will be okay. It's not harmful in any way. The doctor said it was okay. Plenty of people sleep train their kids at that age. It's necessary as a third child, is what she wrote, right? Correct.
So yeah, I'm not going to play all 2 minutes of this video. Y'all get the idea. If you want to look it up on TikTok, it's #SameLindsay. Sympathy is not a two-way street. Sympathy seems to be relegated mostly for one gender. And the sympathy is so strong, shedding tears for a murderer. Now, I get it, she has psychosis, but these women will fail to share tears for the children that will never grow old. Defending somebody just because she is a woman with your contrived stories, utilizing your astrocartography, forensic science, whatever it is that y'all doing in order to justify this bullshit is actually sick. You will go through any stretch to make accountability disappear for you and your entire gender just because the accused looks like you. If this was a man, you would not go through anything of the sort of mental gymnastics that it takes for you to get here. Woo! Yo, this one was insane, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed my breakdown of this. Videos like this, you know, will more than likely get demonetized, but it's just, I can't believe in looking at this, and maybe so many people are staying away from this one from the male perspective because it does involve some heinous acts, you know, which typically from a long form perspective doesn't stay monetized. But I got to give y'all the real sometime. I got to step beyond the business component of this to really deep dive on what is happening out there. What is happening as a society? Because I guarantee you guys, although we're looking at this result for men within how you're dating, how they look at you, these false allegations, right? Like you will never receive the empathy or the sympathy that they claim that they will give you for being open and honest, for talking about your issues and problems, for how hard that you work. Right? There's so many. We're not created equal. but they will act like we are, or they will act like we are equally treated in society. And that is fundamentally untrue. And I understand why some double standards exist. And I'm not advocating that it should be much different, but I am showing you the result of it going unchecked. Questions, comments, concerns? Y'all already know what to do. Mediocre tutorials and reviews at gmail.com. Guys, leave something for me down in the comment box. This one is exhausting. I'm going to have to go take a cold shower after this one. Last but not least, check out my content system, how I do all of this at viraltovalue.com. Guys, make sure you go up on over there. Actually, looking at how crazy some of these people are, it reminds me one of my lessons in how to deal with public criticism through comments or what have you. You got to just ignore people at the end of the day, because these people are the ones that could be writing down in your comment section. Meanwhile, they're nuttier than a squirrel fart. I appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Protect yourself at all times, and I'll see you soon. Peace.
So without further ado.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that was the video that I have for you all. I mean, I really need to catch up on a lot of this case to know more about what's being said. But, I mean, according to that, there's a lot that he's finding out still that she lied about.
Right, and that kind of explains his demeanor on the stand, because he's a little bit kind of like, bland. I can't really,
Yeah.
He's just kind of, he seems dazed, and it's like, I think anybody who had to go and relive this shit would also feel that way.
Yeah.
And like I said, it also seems like whoever's interviewing him for these things, they're leading him on stuff, because they'll say, did you say this? Did you ask her anything else? And he's like,
yeah.
No, I don't think so. And they're like, well, what about this? Didn't you say that? He's like, yeah, I guess I did.
Well, he might be trying to forget a lot of it too.
Yeah, I would imagine.
He's with somebody else now, they said, and they're like thinking that's weird.
Well,
it
was 3 years.
It was 3 years. You're at this point of you don't want to remember any of this.
No, that's a whole nother life.
That's a whole nother life.
Yeah.
He had kids that are gone.
Yeah.
He had a loving wife, and I mean, from what they're saying, he defended her up until even this trial, some of it. Talking about her being a good mother and stuff. And it's like, that's just it. A person will change on medication.
Yeah.
Medication can change somebody like that.
Right.
And it's evil. These doctors are all drug dealers.
They are. They do not care. It's like
the pharmacies, the suppliers.
If you have family history of any sort of mental health issues or psychosis, insomnia, anything of that nature, and like Dr. Phil said that she was suffering from insomnia, and he said if there he said it before, he said it for years, he said if there's one way to make somebody go crazy, he said he would choose that. He said he would choose sleep deprivation. Because he said that's the fastest and most efficient way to make somebody lose their mind and start living in an altered state.
Yeah.
And so I can see that as well, which would explain her Ambien prescription.
Yeah, for sure.
But that doesn't put you to sleep either. So.
No, and that is one of the worst medications that anybody could be on.
Yeah.
Like, that is severe. That's almost as bad as, like, Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Being on his milk, as he called it.
Right. Well, now they're, like, prescribing fentanyl like crazy, too. And it's like, just like 20 years ago, or not even 20 years ago, 10 years ago, this shit was only given to you after surgery.
I know.
And now they're prescribing it as if it is just a normal pain medication.
Yeah, they are.
And it's like, well, opiates, the freaking Norcos and Vicodin and Percocet, all of those things are bad as it is.
I know. And they're acting like all these herbal supplements are just so bad, but we don't know what they do.
But we do know what the pharmaceuticals do.
Yeah, we do,
That's
and
good
we
enough
see
for me.
it.
Yeah.
And a lot of these herbs, they've been around forever.
And there is enough anecdotal evidence. It's just that they haven't done their studies.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that there isn't like independent studies that have been done and like I say anecdotal evidence that goes back thousands of years.
That's what I mean. I mean, natives have been on a lot of this stuff forever.
Exactly.
Our biggest one that they're banning now, trying to from
Kratom,
yeah, Kratom. And they're banning
Be careful
it,
because remember you got shut down for this shit.
and they're trying to get rid of it.
Yeah.
I got shut down for vice.
Well, possibly, but it was potentially because you were promoting.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, yeah, that's.
Yeah, you have to be careful. It's like, I don't know. I don't feel like it should be. It's like it's our opinion, it's our experience.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the worst things that have come from that is hyperpigmentation of the skin.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't know. But like in pregnancy, they prescribe shit. I forgot what it's called. It's a really typical anti-nausea medication for people that have like morning sickness and everything.
Oh, wow.
So many times.
I know what you're talking about. I just can't think of
I
it.
used to take it.
Yeah.
Before, but so many times like kids come out with cleft palates and stuff.
Yeah.
That's recorded. That's like.
And they're trying to say, oh, it's safer.
Yeah, but
because at least we know that.
Yeah. And then there's you smoke cannabis, which people have been doing for thousands of years,
Yep.
particularly in other countries, and they're like, well, it doesn't really cross the placenta the way that the other drugs. And
Exactly.
Stuff do, But it was okay for them to give me, like I said, Ambien, amitriptyline.
Oh my God, I know.
And Percocet when I was pregnant with Tristan.
That's
was
ridiculous.
Okay. That was
yeah.
Okay, right? And he had weight issues. He has asthma.
Yeah. We didn't deal any of that with Amosir.
Right, it's all natural stuff.
And he's been healthy as a horse.
He's never gotten sick. He's had 2 small fevers.
Yeah.
Never had a cold.
I know.
Never thrown up.
Exactly.
Didn't even spit up as a baby.
No.
Like, drooled and stuff.
Yeah.
With no acid reflux.
Nope. Had a couple choking problems, but.
It wasn't a health thing.
No, it's not a health. That's just a life thing.
It's just like eating a noodle too fast and not chewing it,
Yep.
But
that's just something you deal with in life.
Yeah, I do believe that that's a big contributing factor here, and then
yes.
When are people going to start waking up and start taking control of their life? Why put your hands in the hands of a doctor? Why your life in the hands of a doctor?
It's ridiculous. People want to put control into somebody else.
And then complain about
it. They have to.
Yeah.
And like you said, complain about it.
Yeah.
Instead of taking control yourself,
right.
Sitting down and really focusing on what needs to be done.
These are the same ones saying the government shouldn't have anything to do with.
I know.
With our doctors and with our medical decisions. Well, do you still say that? Because they overprescribe shit.
I know.
They I don't know what the timeline is on that yet.
No. I've got to do some research into some of the trial. I want to
so
see.
Much that flooded in.
Yeah.
That it's like now it's kind of a good time to start looking through it.
Yeah, because I'm curious. As I said, even wondering what the guys learned that were lies and stuff.
Right.
So that's what I'm very curious to know.
I think he found out about her not taking medications as prescribed.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that this case has showed him different things too.
And also, when you're already on the medications, it's kind of hard to take them as prescribed.
Oh, it is, because you might forget.
Especially when there's 3 of them.
Yep.
That affect your memory.
I know. You've dealt with that personally, as we've already stated.
All 3 of them.
Yep.
Zola, amitriptyline, and Ambien.
Yes.
Seroquel, I don't know. I didn't do too much more, but still.
They had me on that.
Right. Kaiser liked to put somebody on that whole pack of shit. I don't know how it was called, but it was.
Likes to put a lot of people apparently on it.
Yeah. Every time they went for anything, whether it was pain related or whatever, they put people on that.
Yep.
It's like that. Tell me that they're not being pushed to prescribe that shit.
Exactly.
But yeah, we'll do some more research. We'll come back around in a couple weeks.
Yeah, definitely have more to say about it. I'm sure.
Either way, my verdict is she doesn't need to be walking around.
And I don't see that changing at all. That's exactly what it is. I see it for what I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah.
So.
Sure, it might be a psychotic break, but then it's like, that's even more of a reason to keep her away from people.
Exactly.
It's like when you have a dog that has a proclivity for killing cats or chickens or whatever.
Yes.
They do it once, there is a very high
then
likelihood.
you got to start putting those.
Yeah, because there's a very high likelihood they'll do it again. If you can't
Yep.
train them out of it, you can't change it. It just is. So.
That's exactly right. All right, well, we're already at an hour, so that was perfect.
Right on.
I knew that would be because it was a half an hour video
Right.
with talking points. That's about what we do. All right, thank you, honey, for joining us. Namaste, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll see you as soon as we can get on to do another one. Thank you for joining us, and talk later. Namaste.